and let's get started and learn how to make these flowers.
Sweet. Okay, so I'm going to show you, it's kind of hard to show a full bouquet from the setup that I have there. So even if you're pinned, if you're looking at the little one, the one that we're going to focus on today is this pointy one in the middle here. And like I said, that's because it requires the least cutting. I'm going to try to show it here. It's hard because of the size of my desk here at home, but it's this one right here. And these other flowers, I hand cut the petals, and so that's why I think we should work up to those, because if you've never hand cut petals before, everyone's always like, give me a template, and I was like, I don't know how to template. But this one doesn't really require cutting anything other than a square, which you can fold and it'll do, the paper will do it itself. So that is what we're going to work on. This is a 6 bouquet. If you guys don't know, the Broadway Green Alliance, we give our green captains at the Green Alliance a bouquet for every opening. And this was going to be the 6th opening bouquet, which is why I have it all put together, because they were supposed to open, and we have now postponed that. It will happen still, and I will still give it to them. So it's, you know, hanging out here and being kept safe and sound. In the meantime, let me put it back in its little home for now. So the first thing that you have to do is choose what paper you want to use. When I am making a Playbill flower, I choose 5 of the same sheets for the petals for this particular kind, because again, it's that pointy kind where they all kind of look the same, unless I am making, well, let me pull it out again, sorry. So this one actually has 5 of the same type of pages, but they're not all the same. If you look, each petal has a different cast member's name in, I'm trying to get it close enough. Sorry, I'm moving the camera. I know that's obnoxious, but I'm just trying to get it close enough for you guys to see it. I don't know if it's blurry, but each petal, when I make them for the green captains, I make each petal say a different cast member's name just to like spice it up a little. But when I'm making the colorful ones, I use 5 covers because I want it to look, you know, popping color wise. You can do that, or you can use 5 different pages. Live your best life, whatever makes you happy. The reason that I pulled this was to show you guys how to make a paper stem if we want to. So everybody choose your 5 pages. It can be any 5 pages, and technically it can be any size. I work within a square that's about this size because I am locked into the size of the Playbill, but you don't have to be. If you have an 8x11 sheet of paper and you want to use that, rock on with your bad self. I don't care. So I have these 2 pulled out because we work very closely with people at Disney, which is so awesome because I'm a huge Disney fanatic. If you look back there, there's like Disney junk everywhere. And they give us all their extra Playbills because they are so like tied to us. We have a great time with them. So I have a lot of theirs. And so I was going to let you guys vote. Do you want a Frozen flower or a Lion King flower? Anybody care? Raise your hand if you want Frozen. I can see you. I can see some of you. Okay, we got this 3. Okay, so fine. We're going to do Frozen because I can't see the other people. I also think it's pretty
quick technical note. I'm going to switch where your sound's coming from so that it's going to come from your phone so that screen is more prominent versus your other screen. Quick technical switch. Hold one moment, please. All right, speak again.
Is that better? Hold on. Let me.
No, that works.
Hold on. Is that better?
Yes, thank you very much. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, okay, so now I fixed the sound issue. I had the other one. That actually should be better. Okay, so we will do a Frozen one, and then if it comes to a point where anybody wants me to repeat something, we'll make a Lion King one. How's that sound? Cool. All right, so you have to have 5 pages. I have 5 pages here. And then you have a 6th page or item that you want to use for your stem. The first thing that you have to do is decide where you want your flower petals to go. So as I showed you before, on each one, that pointy part is going to be the most prominent thing that you're going to see. If you're making a bouquet, the outside of the flower is not really going to be seen because it's hidden by the other flowers. But if you are making one flower to just like sit in a vase by itself, or to put on a hair clip like I do sometimes, or whatever like that, the outside pieces will show. So you have to think about that as well when you're laying it out. Whenever I make frozen flowers, I kind of follow the same format because I found a style that I liked with frozen flowers. I usually have one that has the F in the corner, one that has the N in the corner, and one that has this in the corner, and then a P and then an L, so that you can see the whole design around. And I think that's what makes these really pop. It's not just taking a piece of paper, oh, hello, more people, enjoy. We are talking about folding paper. It's so enticing. And so basically, you can do it however you want. If you're just like, I don't care, I just want to learn how to make the flower, I'm not worried about a layout right now, that's also fine. But because I make these for people, I always pay attention to the design of the playbill and try to make it look the most aesthetically pleasing. So the first thing that I always do is I'm gonna need 2 that have the frozen part. So I will go and I will cut off just the playbill tops. And if you've ever seen my other flowers, you will know that I keep the playbill tops because I'm a playbill hoarder and I can't let go of anything. And these can be used to make those little mini accent flowers. And we can learn that another day. If people want to know how to make like a full bouquet, we can do it piece by piece. But I keep the tops because those are the perfect size to make those in-between flowers that I use to fill in all the bouquets that many of you have probably seen before if you're here. And then the easiest way to make yourself a template for this is to say, okay, I'm locked into the size this way because that's the smallest size. So I take it and I fold it over like this and line it up with the other side and fold it. So then I know that this is going to be the size of my flower more or less. And I cut off the excess piece. And we all probably did similar things to this in school when you're making different, whatever. And this piece also can be used for little accent thingies if you decide to keep it. And it's also so pretty. I mean, look at the detail on that. Ugh, I love stuff like that. Anyway, so this is my template now. All 5 pieces for the flower petals need to be this size. So I've decided that is one. And then I have this one here, and I know I'm going to cut it pretty much exactly the same spot because I need the fro and the zen to make frozen. And then I cut it here. Boop. Say goodbye to that. And then I would go here next, and I want 2 more. And I'm also going to cut these 2 together, but I'm actually going to cut this excess yellow stuff off this top playbill part because I want the playbill part to really be right there in the petals. So I'm just going to freehand it. If you're not comfortable with that, you can do the folding thing again, but I just did that to get that off so that they're right there. And then I'm going to use my template again to make sure that they're the same size. So I line it all up pretty close there and cut right here along this to make sure that those are the same size there. So now I have 4. And again, these pieces I will save because I will use those for an accent flower. And then the last one I want is this design right here. So I'm going to swoosh it down to the bottom and cut right here. Boop. Awesome. So now I have my 5 pieces prepped, and I always like to have those ready to go. Now, oh gosh, those of you who are not on video, feel free to type because I'll be able to see it, but like everybody give some kind of wave or something if you are going to be making a paper stem right now, and I'll do that first if it's the majority, and if not, we'll do that after we do the petals. So who's doing paper stems? Raise your hand if you're doing a paper stem. Okay, great. So we have 2, and then the other people, let's see, I don't know how to get to the chat. Give me a second. Oh, there have not been chats yet. So if you are one of the people who is not a video and you want me to stop and do something, just pop into the chat. So I grabbed this glue to make paper stems. You don't have to use this. If you have only hot glue and you want to use hot glue, you can, but this is a pretty fast drying thing. And one of the things I like about it is that it has a sponge applicator. So the glue will just like, if I can get it to come down. Sorry, I haven't used this one in a hot minute because I've been moving, which is super fun in this time. Is it not? Well, we'll let it sink down while we talk about this, but go ahead, sink. It's going to sit in the cup holder. So when I first started making flowers for the Green Alliance, I hadn't discovered stems yet at the craft store because, again, I didn't know this was going to be a thing. So I just would take the pages like this that advertised the Broadway Flea Market, and I made all of those into stems so that they would be different. And so basically what I did was I would just roll from the corner. So you can take the farthest corner and just start to roll it. And this is a little bit of a thicker paper because Frozen uses this for their cast sheets. And it'll hold the flower really well because it's a little thicker, but it really doesn't matter what you use. So I just roll, roll, roll. And I always roll diagonally because it just ends up making a nice length flower or a nice length stem in the end. And you just got to crease in, roll. And there's not really any rhyme or reason to why I chose to do this. It's just what popped into my head. And I was like, all right, flower stem, blah, blah, blah. And then you will glue this piece here. And let's see if my glue has appeared to me down in this section. And if not, I'm literally going to open it up and stick my finger in it because I always have glue on my hands. So who even cares at this point? So I'm just going to put some glue right here. Boop, boop, boop. And then I always like to put a little bit of glue on the outside as well, just a little tiny bit. And that's just as like a thing to keep that down. And if you're using hot glue, obviously it'll go a little bit faster. And then I'm going to hold that for a second to get it to stay. And I'm going to put this up there. So this more or less is a stem. You can make them any thickness or thinness that you want. The weight of this paper dictated how thick this is going to be, because to roll it tighter, it wouldn't have been a pretty circle. It's nice because it's got these lines. So then we get a little bit of a different design, and it's like aesthetic and fun, right? So that is our stem situation. And then you just can put that aside because we're really not going to use this until almost the very last second. So stem, time for you to dry. I'm going to put my little stem up here so we can see it doing its little thing. This is a pair of wire cutters, and if you are using a wire stem that you get at the craft store, you can choose what size you want it to be. For reasons unbeknownst to me, I decided around this size was my standard Playbill flower size. I don't know why I decided that, but that's just what I use, and yours can be any size you want. So those are our stem options. And right now I am going to plug my glue gun in. I don't know what type of glue guns y'all have, but the glue gun that I love the most doesn't have an on-off switch, so I have to plug and unplug it all the time, which is a little annoying, but it has the detail work that I want. Like I'll show you. It has what I need, so I just deal with it, and I plug it in when I know I'm close to gluing something to give it time to heat up, and then I unplug it when I feel like it's gotten too hot, and I go back to folding and whatnot. So if you're using a glue gun, now could be a time to either turn it on or plug it in, depending on your personal preference. And let's see, I am going to put that just a little bit over here. So now we actually don't have to cut anything else. This was the only cutting involved in this particular flower style. So then you grab one page, and because I used this to make the template, the crease is going this way. So this is going to be the end that I focus on for this one. So fold it back to exactly how you did before. Everyone good? We're all happy? Raise your hand if you need me to stop at any point. And then you grab the right side over here and you meet the point up here and then crease it again. And then do the same thing on the other side and have them meet in the middle. If you were one of those kids in school who made fortune catcher thing, you know, those things it's kind of a similar thing. So then I'll give a second for everyone to get that because I tend to move too quickly in the world. So then you have this kind of like whatever shape, and then you pop this one so that the point meets the line. If you guys can see it, I'm meeting the two crease lines there, and I fold this down, fold both sides down, and then I take this point and I tuck it into the front part and then crease again. And I'm going to do that a bunch more times so you'll be able to see it again. So on the other side, you pop this, you like give it a little squeeze until it meets the other corner, crease it, crease here, and then tuck her in. And then you have this kind of like triangle-y, weird diamondy shape. I don't know. And then you fold at this crease over to match its friend and then crease it. And we're going to do this again, so don't worry. And then fold it over. So then I have this shape. And when everyone always asks me, how long does it take to make one flower? And I'm always like, I never do, just one. I kind of assembly line them. And when I assembly line them, I usually cut all the pieces, then fold to this point, and then I fold a bunch to this point and tuck them into each other. But we're going to do another one now, so don't worry. I'm going to get my fro part to match my zen. So again, we're taking this and we're folding it diagonally so that you have a triangle. And then take your right corner to meet the top corner, and you can line it up and then press this side down. And I'm watching, so if anyone in the chat has any questions, feel free to holler at me because I can see you all. And then take this other corner to meet the middle again, unfold down, and then you've got a diamond. And then I'm taking one side of the petal, I pop it open, and I meet the seam of this part to the seam of this part. Press it down gently, crease the corners so that you don't have that space again. How many original squares did you, hold on, sorry. How many original squares did you make from the Playbills? So I always start with 5 pages. For any of my flower designs, I always start with 5 pages. What 5 pages I choose depends on the style of flower. For this, I chose 5 covers because I wanted them to make that design. But yeah, so 5 pages plus 1 for the stem, or an alternate piece of something for a stem. So then again, I tuck this, and don't tuck it all the way. Sometimes you can get tripped up and tuck it all the way into the back. Don't tuck it into the back, just tuck it straight down against itself in the front, straight down against the front. So then you have this other triangle here. So again, pop this one open, meet the, oh, don't mess up that, meet corner to corner, crease, crease, tuck into itself. Does anyone have any questions, or is this, you know, are we all getting there? I'm going to do it 3 more times, so you're going to see it again and again, but just so you, if you have any questions now. And then I always do this, there's no reason to it, but I just kind of tuck them into each other because I think it's organized. I like to keep all my things. When I'm crafting, I have like, I don't know, whatever. Everyone crafts differently. This is my style. So again, I've grabbed this page and I want this corner to be focused on. So that has to be my top corner. Crease again to the triangle. And then I fold. And the great thing about this is once you get the process of it, like you can do it by rote, and you can literally sit in front of the TV and just mindlessly do it. Like my roommates, when I had roommates, they would just like, they were like, oh my gosh, you literally, like, I just do it. I would watch TV like this and just literally blah, 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 because once you've done it enough times, it'll get like that. So it's kind of fun. And we're all sitting at home. Most of us are sitting at home, and it gives you something different to do. And you can decorate your home with some beautiful flowers that don't die unless they get wet. These flowers don't love water. Don't water these flowers. Don't do it. All right. Tuck in here. Again, I'm tucking it directly into the front against itself, not over this other petal piece, just into itself. Boop, boop, boop. And then I fold it over to meet the other side. Fold it over to meet the other side. Can everyone see well enough with my hands, or does anyone want me to go closer on the next one or farther? Or we're all happy with our distance? So now these 2 pieces that I have left are going to be the ones that say play and bill. And because playbills are, I'm using playbills that are being recycled. These are not new playbills. I always like try to look at them and find the best spot. So I think I'm going to use this side for the P and this side for the L because this one had a little bit of an accident over here. So I'm going to use this side for the L for just that reason. And again, if you are just doing this with like whatever, and you're like, I'm not even going to keep this one because whatever, I actually, to be honest, I have the first flower I ever made. So maybe you do want to keep it even if it doesn't turn out the way you think it should. I kept my first one, even though it looks like crud muffins, just for sentimental value. But yeah, anyway, I always look at the design of things and what parts of the playbill are, you know, in the best shape. some of the Playbills that I have are so stinking old that like some corners are yellow and some aren't, but I think that gives it some of the charm, because they are actual Playbills and they do have a life that existed before us. Like some of the Playbills that I have are way older than I am, and I look at them and I'm like, gosh, and you look at the ads in them and you're like, wow, this is so weird. Like I didn't even know that that restaurant was in that place that it, you know, anyway, whatever. It's fun. So then again, you pop this open, meet the seam to seam, press it down, fold in. Other side is the same situation. Boop, 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 boop. And if you like sound effects, make your own sound effects. If you don't, don't. I've always been a sound effect person. And then there. So my last one is going to be the play part of the playbill. If you're interested, the flowers that Playbill has in their office are all this design because they wanted them all to say Playbill. So it just says Playbill, 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 Playbill over and over and over again. But I guess that makes sense since they own them. All right, pop it open, meet seam to seam, flatten it down, tuck it in, boop, boop, boop. Same thing on the other side, seam to seam. Careful with that one. Flatten, flatten. It's funny because some of you may know I also like have a slime account and I make a lot of slime and do things like that. And when I make slime videos, I always put nails on because like part of being in the slime community is like having nice hands and whatever like that. But it's really hard to make flowers with nails on. So I'm always bouncing back and forth between like, because this length of nails is the easiest for flowers. But then anyway, nobody cares. But it's funny that you just have to like live in these dichotomous worlds. All from the inside of your own home. That was me crying about quarantine. So as we do. So there we go. I have my 5 pieces and I will pause for a second to see if anybody has any questions, needs to see it again. Again, I can cut pieces of the Lion King playbill to do it again if you need to see it again, or if you just need me to wait. If anyone needs more time, now is a great time to just be like, Sasha, I need more time, while you are drinking coffee out of your Moulin Rouge cup. Yes, Moulin Rouge. Beautiful. I see you. Nice work. Oh, wicked. Hey-oh. Someone's making wicked flowers.
We're using our census mail.
I mean, why not? Use whatever is good for you. So
we've got a few more people who need more time.
Yeah, I see them. We'll talk about if anyone has any questions while everyone is still working, or again, if anybody wants me to make a petal again so you can see it again, just holler. I have no problem doing it. Oh, now I see another person. Hello, other person. I can see more faces now. You're all beautiful. Okay, while we're waiting for them to finish, can I have like a show of hands of who watched the London Orchestra of the Phantom of the Opera do that thing with Andrew Lloyd Webber and cried their eyes out? No, just me? Okay, everyone go watch it as soon as this is over, because I bawled. Literally could not stop weeping because it was so beautiful. He just was like, I'm going to play All I Ask of You on my Twitter account because I'm Andrew Lloyd Webber. I'm not even a big fan of Andrew Lloyd Webber, mind you. Like, it's fine, whatever. But you need another cutout page? Yeah, that's fine. We can do it again. Don't worry. I'll show you one more. But the whole orchestra took his video and then like did the whole song accompanying him from within their own homes and made a Zoom like this, but they're each doing their bald. It was so beautiful. It doesn't even sound like it's on Zoom. It's so stinking good. Please, like, do yourself a favor and go watch it when this is over. I've shown it to people who aren't even theater fans and they cried. That's how you know it's good. So anyway, another one. We fold over to make, I don't have my template anymore because obviously I folded my template into a flower. So I'm just going to make one real quick. Boop, boop, boop. All right. So, and if you rip a page, you know what? It's okay. There's always more. There's always more paper to recycle, promise. So I have my square. I fold my square into a triangle. I fold one corner up to meet this corner, crease, I fold the other corner to meet it, crease. I have a diamond. I pop the corner of the diamond, crease to crease. Gotta go grab another My Little Lady Playbill. I love that you're using a Playbill. Hey-o. Love that. Yes, I will. Since you were the one who needed to see it, I will pause until you return. Tell me when you have returned, and I will continue. I will pause until then. We have time. Don't worry. So, anybody have any interesting quarantine stories? Just me?
Has anyone else seen any good, oh, wait, you've got a question.
If you aren't using Playbills, does it matter what size the square is as long as it, nope. The size is completely up to you. Some flowers that people make are like ginormous. I've made really big ones. I've made really tiny ones. Like if anyone's ever seen the hair clips that I make, I don't make the flowers for the hair clips this size because this is kind of abnormally large for your head. And so I make them quite a bit smaller. I make them only about like that big instead of that big when I make them for hair clips. Or some of you may have seen when I make Christmas ornaments and I put them like in a, oh, that would be a fun one to do one day. It's actually this same kind of flower and you take 6 of them and you paste them together in a certain configuration and it holds in a circle. It's really cool. When I make those, I make them quite a bit smaller because otherwise it would be like that. I mean, maybe you want it to be that big. I don't know. Do whatever you want. But really, you can use any size you want is the moral of what I'm saying. It can literally be, I always work within what size the paper is as my starting size, because whatever the smallest dimension of the paper is what I'm going to fold to make that perfect square. But you don't have to. You can just make a square of your own making, however you choose. But I hope that all of you will please tag me in your creations in the end, because like I said, this is my first time teaching flowers to anyone. And so I really want to see what everybody has made. You can tag the Green Alliance, but I would also love if you tag me just so that I make sure I see all of them. But like, obviously I'm guessing, but I'm assuming the Green Alliance will repost anyone who tags theirs because holla, so cool. So yeah, as soon as she gets back, I will continue with this one. And then this little petal will just exist for the next time that I make a Lion King flower. Or maybe I'll just do it today for fun. Who knows? Anything can happen. There are so many really awesome and inspiring quarantine videos out there. If you have been feeling stuck creatively because of being physically stuck, which is a totally reasonable thing to be feeling. Just need to cut the cover again. Okay, I'll give you a minute to do that and then we'll continue. I highly suggest just like going on different social media platforms and searching for those things, because it's been really inspiring for me at least. And I hope that it is for other people. I think from the response that I've been getting, like I said, showing it to people who aren't even theater fans and having them respond that way leads me to believe that it is inspiring to other people as well. So I hope that this kind of stuff that we're doing here, the Green Alliance, for anyone who doesn't know, is not only doing these classes that I do every Saturday, there's also panels throughout the week. I know that Mara Davi, who is one of my favorite people, just did one this past week, and hopefully she'll do another one because she's so incredibly knowledgeable about greening things in your own life, and it's totally worthwhile to pay attention to what she has to say. If you didn't know, a couple of years ago, the reason that we got linked up with her partially is because she did this whole like 30 Days of Green series on her Instagram, and it's so stinking cool. We featured it a ton on our website and everything, but you can go back and look at them now, and she made these really adorable like 1950s-esque photos to go with her greening, and I was like, you're amazing. So if you're into that kind of stuff, if you only have one Playbill, what pages inside do you recommend using to make a flower in addition to the cover? My personal preference when I'm using the inside of Playbills for this type is to use the cast pages, and the reason for that, let me grab the flower again for anyone who didn't see the example in the beginning. The reason that I do that is because then you can have a different person's name be featured in each corner, and I think that's just kind of cool, that you can feature 5 cast members or crew members or writers or whoever in your whole flower. So that is my personal preference, but ultimately you can literally use whatever you want. Sometimes when I'm making flowers of a certain thing, like sometimes ads for shows inside the Playbill are even prettier than the actual Playbill cover that they have. So sometimes I'll source all of those and I'll take little pieces of those and use them for the accent flowers because they're just so colorful. Because sometimes Playbill covers are black and white, but the ads for the show are bright and in color. Like Phantom's a great example of that. Phantom has had a black and white Playbill for at least 15 years now. And they used to have just some that had like a little bit of red on them, but that stopped pretty early on. And then, but if you look at their ads inside the Playbills, they're red, blues, all these different, you know, they're gorgeous. So you're like, oh, I want that to be in my flower because that is so much prettier. So that is what I personally would do, but it's all up to you. It's your flower. You do it what makes you happy. So we will just pop this again and meet seam to seam here. Crease, crease, crease. And then again, pop this just inside against itself, not over the other pieces, just inside against itself. Boop, boop, boop. Boop. All right. So are we're all rocking and rolling? Yes. Thumbs up if you're rock and roll. Yeah. All right. That's a majority rock and roll. I'll take it. So I'm going to pull my frozen ones back over and my glue gun is nice and heated up. Is anyone using regular glue and not a glue gun? Yes. Okay. So you are going to have to hold a little longer because it takes a little longer for it to dry. The outcome will be the same in the end. When I started making these, I made them with regular glue. So it's definitely possible. And I'll actually, real quick, I'm going to do this one with regular glue. I want all the petals of that one to be the same. So I'm going to use hot glue on the frozen one just so that they're equal. But I'm going to do this one really quick with regular glue. If you have regular glue in a thing that actually comes out, you don't have to use your finger. I'm using my finger because I'm janky, but whatever. You'll live through it. This is quarantine life. We use what we have, friends. Michael's is closed. There was somebody who asked me, they were like, hey, can I order flowers? And I need them by my birthday, which is mid-April. I was like, I only have 3 stems. I cannot make a bouquet right now, and all the stores are closed. So would love to make things for you. It would literally be my pleasure, but I actually don't have stems. And that is the saddest crafting sound is glue that won't come out of the glue. And also not having stems. It will come out eventually, and then I will. Martha Stewart, why you gotta do me like this? She's trying to make me look bad, you know? That Martha, I tell you. Just kidding. She would never do that to me. She loves people like me because crafters. We are her entire world. It's almost down. This is a thicker glue, and that's why it's taking longer to come out of the thing, but it also is a fast drying glue, which is why I chose it. So I'm just going to take enough of this when it comes out of here. Sorry, guys. I should have kept it hanging upside down, and for some reason I chose not to, which was a genius choice on my part. You know me, making great choices daily in quarantine. Haha. All right. So if you are using regular glue, you're not going to want to use too much, because if you use too much glue, it's going to seep out over the sides of the petals, and then A, you'll have a mess, but B, it's going to take way longer to dry. Sorry, give me a second. We just saw it come out. We all know it can happen. I just used this. Like, really? Come on, Martha. If this doesn't work in the next 10 seconds, I'm going to get Elmer's, and then she's just going to have to deal with that. All right, fine. I'm going to go get my Elmer's glue. Give me 2 seconds. It's very nearby because glue is never far in my world. Miraculous. I also have Elmer's glue. What? Okay. So this one takes a little longer to dry, but we're going to use it anyway. So what I would do if I had regular glue, like I do, is just take a very small amount and put it there. You can fold it over right away, but I am going to spread it out. You don't have to do this. If you don't want to touch the glue, you don't have to. I'm just doing it because I like it to be even. And then just meet these corners here and hold this like this. You don't want this part to, you want this to still be popped like that, but I'm holding just the flat pieces against each other so that they dry like a petal. And you can see right there how I've kind of lined it up. Again, if you're using this kind of glue, you're going to have to hold it a little longer so that it can dry. You can blow on it if you want. I'm not, because there's a camera in the way for me, but if there's not a camera in the way for you, maybe you want to blow on it a little. If you have clips or anything like binder clips or paper clips or whatever like that, you can use those. You can put it here. Don't put it on this part because it'll flatten. You want this to stay buoyant, I guess, maybe the word for that. But if you have a paper clip, you could clip this part here, the inner part of the petal. It won't glue them together because this will still always come back open because we didn't put any glue here or here, but it will hold this part to dry for you. So I'm going to let that go over there and we'll see if it holds itself, but you should hold yours while I'm showing everyone who's using hot glue. So hot glue friends, those using hot glue, you take it and it's basically the same process. I just run a little bit of glue along one petal side, just like that. And then I take the two sides and line them up and press. And when you're using hot glue, it stays immediately. And voila, I have a petal. You can just like petal. I don't know why I'm throwing it, but just to show you that it holds really easily. And then that little petal says play, which is fun because that's what we do, we play. And again, I will put a little smidge of glue on there and then meet those. Boop, boop. Now I have two petals. How cute are you? And it says Playbill. I love it. Sorry, I'm just really into this stuff. You're allowed to think it's dorky, but we're still having fun, I hope. Okay, so glue my petal, two sides together. And again, if you are using regular glue, hold them a little longer. This one actually, I didn't even hold that long, but it is holding. So you don't even have to hold it that long because that one's doing its thing. Just our example, and that was just regular Elmer's glue, you know, so, and I didn't even blow on it. That's a trick from like 90s kids and video games. It's not working on it. And again, a little bit of glue, fold it over, boop, boop, boop. All right, so now I have petals. Did everyone get that, or was that like a lot? Because I can make another one and do one more if anyone needs. Feel free to holler at me if you need me to do another one. The next part is probably the most complex part because you have to form it around the stem. So I'm going to try to go really slowly, but I'm also going to pause like often in case anyone needs. And I can see a lot of you who I can see are still gluing. So I'm going to wait and not move on yet and allow questions. If anyone wants to ask, feel free. Maybe while you're doing that, I'll make one more just for anyone who wants to see one more. I'll make a little rainbow one just for the fun of it. Just so that you have something to watch while we talk and not just see my desk, which by the way looks dirty, but it's not dirty. It's paint stains. So it's clean. It's just stained with paint. And at least it's paint and not something gross. Paint, slime, glue, whatever. But I did Clorox it before we started. So again, I've got a triangle. I fold corner to corner, and I'm going to do this one a little more quickly because it's just a time filler, but corner to corner, boop, 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 pop open my petal. By the way, my name is Haley. I'm on my husband's Zoom and made a bridal bouquet. Oh my gosh, the all pink one. Girl, let me tell you, that was a process finding those. I loved making it. I still have tons of photos of it, but like trying to find that many Playbills that had pink in them, I was like literally sourcing everyone I knew. I was like, does anyone have a show that has pink? That was fun. And I think that means that there's 3 of you on here named Haley, which is super wild. Hello, all the Haleys and everyone else too. It was before Mean Girls. If Mean Girls had existed, it would have been so easy, but I used so many other things. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is we are folding petals. We are doing stuff and things. Do. Do you still have that bouquet? That was a huge bouquet, by the way, and I love it. I loved it so much. And thus we have another petal. Yeah, it definitely was before Mean Girls. I should drink more water and less coffee. Maybe that would slow me down a little. Oh, will you send me a picture of it on display in your living room? That's so sweet. I would absolutely love to see it. I love seeing where my different creations end up in the world. I have some customers who have purchased different flowers every year for the different shows that they see each year and then like add to it. I made your daughter's graduation bouquet. Oh, I'm so glad. See, they're all so out there and like just wonderful in the world. And hello, someone's mother just walked behind them. I see you, Mom. My mom is in California, so she will not be walking by at any moment, but she would love to because she is the hammiest of the hams, and she would love to dance or sing for you guys because that's all she wants in the world is for people to watch her dance and sing. Was it I made a couple of graduation bouquets last year. Was it a high school one or a college one? And also, if any, when people are ready from middle school, oh my God, oh yes, I remember. She has brown hair, right? And you took the pictures with the balloons and all that stuff. I totally remember that. Yes, yes, yes. I have total memory of that now. There's sometimes I need like one little bit of information to jog my memory, and then I'll get to it. You know. She was entering, right. And she had a picture like this. Yeah, I totally remember. She had this like crazy, adorable, like, oh my God, when she realized that they were made from Playbills, because it's like at the first, there's like a series of photos. She's holding in one and she's like, yeah, flowers, thanks Mom, whatever. And then she goes, it was really cute. All right, so are we all ready to turn this into a flower? Finally, with all these petals. Speaking of my mother, she's now sending me quarantine memes again. So in case you have a 74-year-old mother, that's what they're doing right now. My mother is 74 and a doctor, and all she does is send me quarantine memes. So lest you think she's a boring 74-year-old, you were wrong. Yeah. All right. So we are going to move on to making our thing. So when you are going to be putting your flower together, again, if you are just like, I just want to learn the process, Sasha, I don't care about aesthetics right now, you can ignore this part. But if you are literally like, I'm going to display this flower, this is the time to start thinking about how you want to lay out your pieces. And I always start with, if this is the kind of flower that I'm making, I always start with the pieces that say Playbill, because it informs how I want to create the rest of the flower around it, because the Playbill is the top, whatever, you know what I mean? So I start with this one, and I am going to take my petal, and on whatever side of it you're going to start with, I'm going to take a line of glue just along the outer edge of the center line. And then you take the other piece that you want to be right next to it and just kind of meet them together corner to corner. And I'm not touching the whole thing. It's literally just that little piece that's holding together. And if you're using regular glue, you'll hold it like this, or you'll paper clip it here between the petals to hold it. But this is the first thing you're gonna do. And then we have this little like butterfly looking thing, but this is the beginning of your flower. This is so weird because I've literally, yes, that's perfect. Oh my God, this is so cool. I've never seen other people do this before, and it makes me so happy. Genius. You guys are beautiful. And those of you who I cannot see because you are just names, I guarantee you are also beautiful. All right, so then I will move over, and I always go clockwise. If you like counterclockwise better, go counterclockwise, but I move this way because it's just how my brain works. So then I'm gonna take another line and swoosh it along the same exact section there. And the next piece that I'm going to do is the F for frozen, or actually, yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna do that. And now I have that. And honestly, when you're doing the frozen thing, it can go two ways. Sometimes you can have it go in a circle, and other times you can have the N come first, so that when you, I'll show you that another time, but whatever. Ignore me. Pretend I never said that. Let's have the F come first. Frozen. That's how you spell. And then I'm going to put another line here. And I need my N. And you're like, oh my God, Sasha, wait, what about the stem? Oh, it's coming. Don't worry. I got you. So I have my 4 pieces right here, and this is almost complete. And I'm letting it dry a little. And then before I put the other petal on, haha, my stem. So the stem has to go into the center before you put the other petal on. And it's literally just going to kind of like live in there. This stem is a little bit too wide at the top, so I'm going to fold it over to make it smaller at the top. If you have a stem that's more like this size, you don't have to do this. But if you made a paper stem, don't fold it all the way down because you still want this to be beautiful, but just the top part, just to make it a little thinner so that your flower can close in on itself properly. I'm just going to kind of like beep, beep, and like smush it a little. It's not going to be seen, so it doesn't matter that you're smushing it. So then I have this piece here, and these pieces are not glued together, so it's malleable still. And in this very center section here, just down on the bottom part, I put a healthy amount of glue and then also glue up along the sides here. And then I take the stem and place it in the center. And then I take this piece and attach it to the two other sides. And then I hold it until it dries, and then voila, we have a flower. Guys, we made a flower. And then we're not done yet. I know you were really excited, like, whoa, hold on, we still have to secure this baby. So then you turn it over and it kind of holds itself really nicely. It's pretty easy to just like get it to, the petals just hold and they don't get crunched or whatever, which is great. I go around the back of each one and I put a little bit of glue attaching the stem to the petals, and I let them dry upside down like that. And that is what we do. I see you. Look at you drying it upside down same way. You're so cute. Don't forget to hydrate, guys. It's super important. It's not just coffee, it's water too. So yeah, now it's drying. And then like sometimes if I'm bored, I'll like twist them to get them to dry faster or whatever, but you have now a whole flower. And this one is completely made of upcycled materials minus the glue because I made a paper stem. So if you made a paper stem, you have a completely upcycled craft in front of you. And Mother's Day is coming up, hint, hint. So maybe if you all really liked this, I feel like we have a good amount of people here. If everybody wants, we can like learn all the flowers and then we can like make bouquets for our moms. My mom loves Broadway. So sending my mom a Playbill bouquet, she would lose it. She's one of those people. She'd be like, oh my God, I love that show. I'd be like, I know, mama. So if your mom likes shows, or maybe your mom just likes books or whatever your mom likes, I don't know, every mom's different, you can make flowers for her because Mother's Day is coming. So maybe that's something that we'll do as a group. We have other craftists coming as well, but this is our flower, guys. This is how you do it. And you can hold it like everybody, like, wait, can everyone who's like on camera hold their flower up and I will get a screenshot of all of us holding them? I think this is adorable. Hold your flower up. I see. There we go. Yes. Oh my God, we're so adorable, except my poor screen that is in the middle of it with nothing. It's okay. It's participating too. I would love to see the other styles. I've done book page rows and I love seeing this new style. Yeah. I think that's definitely something that we can talk about. Molly, who is, I don't know where she is on your screen, but for me, she's right over there. Molly is our director, and our assistant director, Chrissy, for me, is over there, but again, I don't know where she is for you. They are in charge of programming, and if you guys love this one, reach out to them and be like, oh my God, it was so fun, and maybe we'll do it again with other styles of flowers, and then we'll make a complete bouquet before Mother's Day or before mock graduations, since many graduations have been canceled, and then you can give them to the young people in your life who were going to be doing shows. And one of the other reasons that I did flowers when I started making upcycle crafts was because in theater a traditional opening night gift is flowers. That is tradition. And so I was like, well, these flowers, A, are upcycled, B, they don't die, and C, they can be customized to the show that you're in. So only finger guns, no real guns. So that is the kind of the reason. So if you have anyone in your life who was going to be graduating and you wanted to be able to give them something unique and cool, or mom for Mother's Day or whatever, this is a great thing for them. Or literally just to like send someone who's having a rough time with this a little thing in the mail. They'll open it up and they'll be like, oh my God, it's a flower that doesn't die. Like, it doesn't die. And there's something really beautiful about that for me. Especially in this really weird kind of emotional time, that like there's this thing that is so lasting, you know? And you made it, which is cool. So does anyone have any questions? We have just like 4 minutes left before I think Zoom will kick us out. Maybe Molly wants to say stuff about the Green Alliance, but I'm also open to any questions. Would love to learn them all. Yeah, happy to teach you.
Yeah, does anyone have any other questions for Sasha at this point? Great. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. Sasha, thank you so much for sharing this beautiful gift with us. I am very excited to go put this out in my house to add a little greenness into this moment of being inside. So thank you for sharing this and giving us a new way to upcycle the things in our home so that we can, again, look to be green in a time where it can be really challenging. So thank you, and for doing this. For the Broadway Green Alliance, for those who don't know about us, we are a nonprofit who works with the theater community to educate, motivate, and inspire all theater artists and theater fans to implement environmentally friendlier practices in their lives, which is exactly what we did today. And we did so in such a fun way. So thank you, Sasha. Feel free to join us again for other sessions. They're all on our website, broadwaygreen.com, or you can follow us on social on Instagram and Facebook to learn more. So thank you for spending your Saturday morning with us, and we will see you again soon.
Please, everybody, take up close pictures of your creations. Please, 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 because like obviously I'm seeing you with them, but through Zoom it's really hard to actually see the flowers. They all look beautiful, but I would love to see them in their like glory wherever they're going to live, in your home or just with you or whatever you decide to do with it. I'd love to see them, just because like I said, this was new for me and I'm like, oh my God, these little babies just went into the world.
Yes, and if you please tag us at Broadway Green Alliance and tag Sasha at Some Other Me Shoppe, right?
Yes.
So that way we can share them with the world as well, and spread a little green and a little happiness out further. That would be wonderful. So
I will repost every single one of them as well, because word.
Awesome. Great. Thank you all. See you again soon.